Hi everyone, and welcome to this video on Saturn Conjunct Mercury in the birth chart. I'm going to be talking about what some of the strengths are with this, as well as some of the challenges and stuff like that. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It rules speech. It also rules written word, reading, and any form of communication, messaging as well. It's also about the mind as well, the analytical mind, the brain, so not the emotions, but very much the thoughts. And Saturn, it's going to restrict, it's going to make difficult, it's going to make you have to work hard to achieve, overcome restrictions about whatever it's influencing. So the conjunction is very strong. It's the strongest aspect in astrology, it's the conjunction. And Mercury is a personal planet. So when you have Saturn, in conjunction with one of your personal planets, like that's quite a big deal, So if you got Saturn conjunct Mercury, yeah, this is strong, You might relate to this with Saturn and Capricorn as well. I have Saturn in Capricorn. I don't have Saturn conjunct Mercury, but I do have Saturn in Capricorn, and I do relate to a lot of Saturn conjunct Mercury traits. So it is applicable as well, but this is more for Saturn conjunct Mercury. So basically, a serious mind, serious communicator, because Saturn is serious. And Saturn is associated with restriction and old age and authority and things that are slow and responsibility. So you could be a serious communicator. You could have restricted communication. That is, like, you could be quiet. Speak less, and it could be restriction. Like, it could be shyness. It could be a speech impediment. It could be a feeling like you don't have anything that people might want to hear, or just a lack of confidence about what you have to say. And you also could be very good at teaching and tutoring. That is, with Saturn, it's, the word boundary. Saturn creates boundary and limitation, and without Saturn doing that, there would be no form. So Saturn creates form. It says things that, Saturn represents what something is not, so that we can represent what something is through boundary and limitation. So essentially, Saturn is all about bringing things into the material world and making things manifest in an actual, like, physical way. So with Saturn conjunct Mercury, you have an aptitude potentially for teaching and tutoring. That is, that you can make things make sense. Like, you can put abstract concepts, challenging ideas, academic things, and you can actually make this make sense, communicate it to people in a way that they understand it and go, you know what, you put it in a really simple way. You could be able to have the ability to put things in a simple way, things that just are logical and make sense, and like other people might struggle with this, but you can go, no, this concept, these are the key points you need to learn, and then you might understand the order in which to say things. So again, with this teaching tutoring thing, not just for speaking, but also for maybe writing things down, creating documents, presentations, whatever. You might just have a way of being able to do this in a way that just makes sense. Also, you are able to access, if you find the confidence, generally there will be ability to have a kind of authority, to have a kind of seriousness in your voice that maybe allow people to understand and take serious. Saturn being, old age, the old man, with these traits, like, it can give your voice a kind of strength. So, but yeah, just very much like these things kind of would have to be earned, and from overcoming difficulty with speech and shyness and quietness. Um, Mercury conjunct Saturn, like this could be the placement of someone who's just mute, like just can't speak or won't speak. Not like that's very rare. I don't think if you have Saturn conjunct Mercury, it's going to play out that literally. But like if it did play it completely literally, like this could be like one of the things that happens, like a person that just doesn't speak, doesn't say what they're thinking, holds back, So yeah, deliberate communicator. And you could potentially be I don't want to say stubborn, but yeah, maybe opinionated or kind of dogmatic or strong in your words. Like you could be very strong in your words, like even quite severe. Like you might say stuff and people will be like, yeah, like you just be like very it can be a good thing and a bad thing to have such strong communication. And with your social skills, like this might be something that you might struggle with a bit, or it comes to you later in life. Like Mercury is the social realm, it represents the social realm. Mercury is associated with Gemini, the twins, and the third house, the house of small talk. And with Saturn conjunct Mercury, you might really struggle with it, with these things. And maybe you're more slow and steady when it comes to learning. I think that there's a real potential for real intelligence here and being able to study. And I think that you probably have to work harder than other people, though, in order to really absorb information and learn. Like you have to kind of read every word, reread it again, for it to really, for you really take the information in. You're not someone that can just do a bit of studying, get really good grades, or just learn something super quickly. But if you put your time and attention to something, like you can achieve great results. But it probably like you work a bit more slow than other people, but that doesn't have to be like a bad thing. I think as well, like somber, like you like I think like you don't like people who are superfluous with their communication, or could talk rings around you. A lot of people are impressed with people that are very fancy and eloquent talkers and use all sorts of fancy words and euphemisms and metaphors, but it's hard to understand what they're really saying. And you like, because Mercury is kind of what you appreciate as well with communication, and then what kind of communication you're comfortable with. And with Saturn conjunct Mercury, it's like you like stuff that just makes sense, and people that just make sense, and people that just say like how things are without really sugarcoating things. Not so much that, like, not that, like, nobody likes people who are really rude, but there is like, yeah, you're a straight talker, probably a straight talker, and you probably really appreciate it when other people are as well, and then get really annoyed when people aren't, so like just get to the point, just say what it is, sort of thing. There, with this placement, there you could be at the risk of like pessimism, maybe more than a lot of people. With a negative outlook is possible sometimes. Saturn can fixate on like what is the lack, what is something that we don't have, what is something we're struggling with. The glass half empty kind of thinking is possible. So there can be a lack of a sunny outlook, and can be like a gloomy, like you might like even talking about gloomy things or things that are like more kind of dark. It's just like that's Mercury is your communication. Saturn is a somber planet. It's serious. It is it's not glossy. It's not I hate the word bubbly. It's not any of those things. It's it's serious energy, so those might be kind of conversations that you enjoy, and yeah, I would say like as well, you probably enjoy people who know how to be quiet, like, because you're probably like quite quiet, or you appreciate that. You appreciate that in other people as well. With Saturn, there's, like, it's limitation, so limitation on speech, your speech, but also appreciating that in other people, people that don't talk to just fill a void, like that. So, like, yeah, silence. Like, you might be very comfortable with silence in your own company, and you might not need to talk all the time. And you, like I'm saying, you appreciate and you connect well with other people who are like that as well. So yeah, I would say as well, just your, mind. Mercury is, the mind. Saturn, the planet of time. Saturn is father time. You might think of time a lot. You might be organized based on time. Like, so Saturn being structure, Saturn being the planet of time, Mercury being the mind and communication and learning as well. So for me, I'm Mercury in Capricorn, which is slightly different, but it's similar Saturn energy. And I'm a slow reader. Like, I'm a really slow reader. And it takes me a long time to get through a book. Love reading, though, I do. And I structure my time a lot with an alarm clock. Like, I will read for an hour. I will do productive stuff for an hour. I will do this and write like kind of lists and check things off, and like I'm saying, set timers for myself. And that's very Saturnian, timers and stuff like that. So yeah, it could be kind of rigid and with the timekeeping and stuff. I think as well. Yeah, so that's really about it for Saturn conjunct Mercury. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.